Alright, so let's start off talking about Weaver by making sure you guys can get off to a good start and talking about what you need to know so that that happens. First things first, supports, okay? You really want a hero that can trade at level 1 with Weaver. Main reason for that is Weaver's movement speed. This hero being at 275 is one of the slowest heroes in Dota and is a ranged hero, which means that it gets run down in the laning stage. If you have to lane against 2 ranged heroes or a strong melee hero and a ranged hero, you will suffer if you don't have a Witch Doctor or a Bane or an Ogre or an Undying who can create space early on. So, if you plan on picking Weaver, which you can do in basically every single game, just ask for your position 5s to pick those type of heroes. It's not the end of the world if they don't, it's just a good thing to have. And by the way, guys, if you want to become absolutely broken, well, what you need to do is sign up to the gameleap website down below right now. The reason why you should do that is because every single day we post a new video there. Content that you simply just will never get on YouTube, we post every single day to the website. It's really top tier stuff. I'm very proud of what I make over there. We also have other creators, many of my great friends who are top tier Dota players, creating guides about different heroes, different roles, different items, skill builds, talent builds, everything you need to know to get to the next rank. So if you feel a little bit lost, you're a little bit stuck, click the link down below. I'll see you guys there. And now let's get into the video. On top of that, buy a stick. Okay, you see his starting items? There's no stick in it, but he's shipping one out right now. Weaver should almost always have a stick. Even against something like Rubik's Centaur, that you'd be like, I don't really need a stick. Just buy a stick. Your hero has no innate sustain. It struggles with that throughout basically every stage of the game. Just buy a stick. Next thing I want to talk about is the fact that your hero just kills people at level 1. It specifically kills people at level 2 and most importantly level 3, which we'll get into, but like, a lot of the time this happens. I mean, Sand sucks at level 1 in this game, so obviously they can punish him pretty hard. Witch Doctor's obviously really good, but this is pretty common where someone will just play up on the wave against Weaver, and you can just chase them down. I know this is simple and standard. Just keep it in mind in your games that more often than not, you're going to be able to go for kills even when you think you honestly can. Now, skipping ahead a little bit, we're going to notice a situation where he's 2 levels above Sand King. Now, obviously they got the first blood on the Sand King, then he was able to keep the lane back with good denies, right? He has 8 denies at 5 minutes and 29 CS. Good stuff using Sakuchi to secure range creeps, you know, so on and so on. The main thing I want to cover today is this stage of the game, okay? He's got his treads, and this is the item build you can go every single game, right? Just copy this. Stick, Wraithband, treads. After that, he's going to buy Wand into Falcon Blade. Now, this timing, when you have treads and you have your Wraithband, is when most heroes cannot walk up, okay? Why can't they walk up? They can't walk up because of the Swarm. This ability in 7.30 was buffed by 150 travel speed, so it's much easier to land than it was in the past. You can even throw it on people that are pretty far away. Typically, in the past, Weaver would only throw Swarm at people if he was right next to them. With this buff, you can throw it when they're a little bit further away. On top of that, and most importantly, it now ignores damage block. If you don't know what that means, basically every single time a melee hero gets hit, they have a 50% chance to block a portion of the damage. This would heavy counter the Swarm, as it has a very high attack speed, but low attack damage. Now that that's been removed, this is one of the best abilities against melee heroes in the entire game early on. It also reduces armor. So, at any point in the lane, if you are level 4, now I know he's level 5 in this clip, but if you're level 4 and you have 2 points Sakuchi, 1 point Swarm, 1 point Gemini attack, which is typically when you're going to take the Swarm at level 4. Some people will take it at level 2 if they see a potential double kill, but let's say you take it at level 4, you should go for a kill. Now in this match, this is a very high MMR game. Sand King is ranked 64. As a result, Sand King plays completely defensive for essentially the remainder of the lane. Now, in your average pub, people don't know how good Weaver is at this point in the match, and so when you get the Swarm, yell at your support, say come to the lane, and kill the offlaner. It doesn't matter who it is. Walk up to them, click Sakuchi, click your Q, auto-attack them until they die. And upcoming here is actually an incredible example of this. Let's take a look. So Witch Doctor was rapping on the Sand King. They got a brief second of vision on him. They pop the dust. They go in. I like what he does here. He actually doesn't overcommit with the Sakuchi. In this exact example, he, too close to the tower. You don't want to dive too hard. So he doesn't fully commit. Doesn't go for the Sakuchi damage. Goes for the Q to keep vision. Right, so when Sand King's juking in the trees, the Q will provide vision and starts to auto-attack him. And you could see the amount of damage that your hero does is stupid. You might be like, oh, that was Maledict. No, it wasn't. That was like 70% Weaver. And honestly, this this Witch Doctor Weaver combo is pretty insane. Maledict plus Bug is like, it's like a guaranteed kill on people. I mean, look at this poor Caudle. The first things first about this clip, he uses the Swarm based on the Witch Doctor stun. I love the synergy there, paying attention to his disables to guarantee that this connects. Also throwing it from pretty far away, something you, as I was saying, wouldn't usually do. And Caudle just straight up dies. Yeah, most heroes can't deal with it. And this is the power of Weaver in the early game. When you have your Swarm, especially when you have your level 6 and a couple stat items, almost no one can fight you, and you have to abuse it. And as a quick side note, guys, I'm actually going to make a Weaver offlane video for the website. Reason being is I honestly think that Weaver offlane is either as good, if not better than Weaver carry. Skipping ahead to the 10-minute mark here, what do you do once your laning stage is broken down? The answer, very simple. You're going to look for skirmishes and farm your safe lane. Now you might be asking, Speed, what happens if I lose my safe lane? What should I do? Well, either choose a different lane to go to, or watch your replay and figure out how you lost the lane on Weaver. But honestly, I'm kind of serious about that. Like, the first thing you should always do when you lose your lane is think about why you lost your lane. Not literally during the game, but so you can fix it for the future, because on Weaver, you're a very snowbally hero. Nonetheless, in this clip here, you can see he was just farming small camp, farming large camp. If his team wasn't setting up for this, like, invasion of the triangle, he would have just went and farmed the wave and then farmed another camp. But yeah, they go in, and obviously at this point in the game, when you go something like Falcon Blade, Treads, Javelin, Wand, you're gonna, you know, you want to take fights. And that's exactly what he does. Just annihilates the Sand King, time lapses out. I think he was afraid of a potential Lina stun there. He got vision of her on the minimap and goes back to his safe lane. But this is the key. This is the key. Yes, in that fight, he saw the Abaddon and Alina. Did he continue chasing? No. Get a kill. If it's near their towers, don't keep going. Obviously, there's circumstances where they're going to be like 20% HP and you can, but most of the time, if they're full HP, you want to get a kill, get out, go back to your lane, and continue to flash farm. You want to cast Sakuchi off cooldown, use Sakuchi to hit the range creep and the entire wave. When you hit the range creep and the entire wave, you want to use Geminite attack to instantly secure the range creep, and then you want to continue to auto attack down the entire wave. You clear waves quite quickly. It's quite fast. You just need 2 Sakuchis, which is why you should always approach the wave with the Sakuchi and finish the wave with Sakuchi. And yeah, that's just how you flash farm. You can even see here, Weaver is really good at taking aggressive farm on the map. If he was playing something like Sven, this is Matama Man, right? He probably wouldn't do this. Okay, he would consider it if the entirety of the enemy team was showing top. And to be fair, Sand King and Lina, his major threats of this game, are dead, regardless of what carry hero he is. Those are the major threats. They are dead. But Weaver can do this even when the threats are alive, for the most part. Invading the jungle, taking away some farm, potentially from the Medusa, even looking to run at the Medusa. Weaver is stupid good at this, right? Any hero that doesn't have like a direct stun has to run away from Weaver. There's only a few heroes that, like, in my mind, trade with Weaver potentially. An example of that is Sven if he has God Strength on, maybe, not really early game Sven. Another example of that can be Slark, because Slark can steal stats, then disengage, then heal, and so Slark can be pretty good in that regard. But most heroes can't really man up. Maybe you have to be a little bit afraid of a Chaos Knight, for instance, because he can potentially stun you into another stun from a TP and burst you down. But other than that, he's just straight up running at this Medusa. I love this gameplay, okay? He stays in his safe lane, then if someone comes into the lane who's weaker than him, he kicks them out. This is the best way to create space almost always just in Dota, if you can do it. Because what it allows you to do is farm, not over-rotate, not commit your TP, play a safe portion of the map, and farm and kick people out of the map at the same time. It's so valuable. On that note, though, this is also a portion of the reason why Weaver wants to play up on the map. If he was to take his safe farm here, which is fine if it's like 7, 8, 9 minutes into the game, but as you get tankier, you get your 9 strength talent at level 10, you want to continue to try to look to play up and show up to these fights, and that's exactly what he does. Notice how he's watching his minimap, though, okay? If his team was AFK here, farming triangle, let's say he has Bristleback mid and an offlane Alk, and they're just farming, he probably wouldn't do this. He wouldn't maybe even invade the triangle. He would largely focus on his own farm. Playing Weaver as a hard carry that flash farms is okay. It's okay. It's fine. Just if your team is playing up, look at the positioning, you can play up too. You want to react, though. Don't set up the fights, react to the fights, clean up the fights, and your Weaver will become much better. And really, you can see how good he is at paying attention to his teammates. I think you guys are going to be fascinated by this clip here, okay? So let's pay attention to his positioning relative to his teammates, okay? So he goes in, look at where the enemy team is looking, okay? This means he can go in. If they're facing this way, he actually probably can't go in. So first things first, throws the bugs at a range. Talked about how this is something you can kind of do reliably now. Then he goes in, doesn't want to overcommit, right? Because he knows he could get potentially chain stun. Doesn't want to overcommit, so he's just going to proc the ulti on the Abaddon. Very nice. After that, where are his teammates? All of them are behind him. What does that mean? That means that he has to chill. So what does he do? He chills until Ember shows up. Once Ember shows up, he continues to kite around the fight, doesn't want to get chain stun. That's the weakness of Weaver. Doesn't want to get chain stun, simply plays the outside of the fight and cleans up the Abaddon. After that, he's going to try to wrap around here, goes to the low ground to find some auto attacks. I like this, pretty cool positioning, and is able to find a nice kill on Lina. Obviously, the clip doesn't end there because he's Weaver, and so he ends up cleaning up another few kills as well. So just an incredibly good clip, a beautiful attention to detail when it comes to his teammates' positioning. Then even after that, proceeds to kick the Medusa out of the jungle and just really be a nuisance to the enemy team. Obviously, this is a little bit dangerous, but wow, so good, right, guys? Like, damn, man, look at this. You know, like, look at this. Mwah! Nah, God, I hope this guy wins TI. You know what I mean? Nah, but like it's just so good, right? Obviously, that was very risky. You don't necessarily want to be that risky because obviously the downside is super high. But hey, if you get away with it, if you can push your limits and, you know, play like that, then it definitely can pay off. Moving ahead, here's my favorite clip of the game. So he's level 13, really farmed. 3 kills, 132 CS, like really farmed. He's got this Maelstrom Chrysalis build. It is an insane amount of damage early game. Look at this Medusa, okay? This is a full mana, full HP Medusa. Look at it. This is crazy to me. This is without bugs, by the way. Doesn't even have his Q, which is like a huge portion of his damage. Literally annihilates her. Look at her HP. She had to pop a wand. Like, he destroyed her. And you can do this in your pubs too. Like, most carries just get destroyed when you hit this timing. Next thing to note is Roshan. Just keep in mind whenever you're Roshing to make sure someone tanks Roshan before you put the bug on it. Roshan is really bad against Weaver, actually. You know, like, Weaver, the bug just reducing Roshan's armor by as much as it does is really useful. So just make sure someone's taking the bug. In this clip, for instance here, Mars stopped tanking, so the bug ends up dying, and it's really bad, right? Because you can see the armor reduction here is insane. Currently at minus, it basically reduced Roshan's armor by like 13 there before it died. Obviously, it can get even higher than that. And so, yeah, just keep that in mind. On top of that, one more thing to consider is this level 15 talent. Honestly, I don't even know when they changed this. This used to be his level 20 talent. Now it's his 15 talent. 2 swarm attacks to kill is stupid OP. It just is. Like, never take mana break. Never. You might be like, what if I'm against a Medusa? He's against a Medusa. Don't take, please. 2 swarm attacks is busted. Because this ability is, I'm saying it again, it's insane. You cannot get rid of it with Yules. You can't get rid of it with Ghost. You can't, like, blink away when it's on you. The only thing that gets rid of it is Invis. Then if you buy a Shard, even that's not the case. And obviously if they're already dusted, then that also is not the case. And so bugs is an insane ability. Like, literally, if you put a bug on a support, their fight is practically over. I'm not just saying that. That might sound insane. No. If you bug a hero like Abaddon, and he can't remove it, if he shows up to the fight and he is like negative 10 armor, you will 2-shot him. Also, skipping ahead, look at his next item, BKB. Just buy BKB in almost every game. Sometimes Lincoln's okay, but if you're gonna go Lincoln's, honestly, you should be buying it basically first or second item and trying to get it around the 14 to 15 minute mark. So, yeah, just if you're gonna go like this DPS build, which I recommend, the Falcon Blade into the Maelstrom, into the Chrysalis, into the BKB, with a wand, of course, and a bunch of clarities, just play it this way. Please play it this way. Just get a BKB. Do not greed. Do not greed. The next thing I really need to mention as Weaver is fight selection and how you need to approach the fights. The first thing I'd like to say before we get into the clip I want to show you guys is that every single fight, basically every single fight he's taken, has been him showing up late or him like basically sideswiping the enemy team. Him flanking them would be a better word. You need to try to do that as Weaver. Let's say, for instance, okay, they're walking up from mid here, right? They're walking up from mid. They just got to pick off, and they're walking up to this tower. That is how you feed as Weaver. If Weaver has to, like, walk with his team and groups up with his team is, like, clumped with them, that's how you feed. You get hit by a bunch of random AoE spells and you die. If your team is pushing down mid, typically you want to come from the side. Here or here, or here, right? All I'm trying to say is do not take the same path as your team in team fights. You will feed. Don't do it. And this upcoming fight here is a fantastic example of that. As the fight breaks out, you're going to notice very closely how he specifically does not take the quickest route. He goes a little bit around and then fights. Right here, obviously if he wanted to hit Medusa, he would just run this way, right? Just run this way. What does he do? Goes around the back, finds an opportunity to get a multi-man bugs. So I like how he didn't run to here and then bugs. He saw a gap to bug everyone here. Literally hits 4 people with bugs. Fight's practically over. Thankfully for them, they do have a Medusa, which can help, right? Because Medusa can hit the bugs and do damage at the same time. So if a good Medusa sees that, she can deal with it. But most people just don't even know that. They wouldn't think about that, or they just forget. I might even forget, you know, even though I'm the best player in the world. And so yeah, unfortunately this bugs doesn't show off like the primary or the potential of bugs, because Dusa and the high attack speed from Lina actually just completely killed them. But usually, especially the lower and lower rank you go, the more people forget about the fact that they're bugged. They don't even think about getting rid of it, and you'll just kill them. Like, literally, they'll have no armor when you go to hit them, and you'll just insta-kill them. And yeah, the main thing here, though, is that he did not take the primary route to the fight. He played around the fight. On top of that, after they win the fight, do you think he's going to go high ground? No. No. Enemy team has 2 stuns and a coddle. No. Weaver's biggest weakness as a carry, by a long shot, is his ability to siege. This hero sucks at sieging. It stinks at sieging. Don't siege. Now you might be like, but I have time lapse. You're gonna get bursted, okay? Don't siege. You don't do a lot of tower damage. It's really risky. Play for Roshan. Play for map control. Play for pickoffs. Look at this here, okay? Taking their ancients, taking the nearby camps, gonna cut the bottom wave, gonna go back through, look to cut the mid wave, look to go for a pickoff, right? Then he's gonna go back through their jungle, checks Roshan, kills some camps, kills top wave, kills the next top wave, kills some neutrals. Then he's like, oh, Roshan's up. Kills Roshan, maybe he'll siege. Now, maybe the main thing you would want to look for is pickoffs. Not really sieging, right? Not really sieging. And this is what you do. That's going to be all for today's video. He ends up just ending the game. He's so far ahead. But once again, he plays it slow. Doesn't hardcore force the high ground. Doesn't. Because you can't. You can't. Don't. Right? Look for a pickoff. Wait for the enemy team to get impatient. For instance, right here, he lets his team set up. Enemy team gets a little bit impatient. They catch him outside of the base. And they can look for a fight. Right? This is what you need to do. Please mimic this. This is maybe the most important part of the entire replay, and almost everyone gets it wrong. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you guys in an upcoming Twitch stream. The link to my Twitch stream is in the bio. We've been having a lot of fun. I'm going for road to 9K, and I'll see you guys there. Peace! And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!